Well, I intended only to do 2 videos in this section, but this last problem, I was misrecording in the second video, so I'm going to put this last problem, number 7, on a video all by itself in video 3. So this is number 7 that I wanted to be on the second video at the very end, but it's going to get a video devoted entirely to it. So here we go. We have 3x minus 4 radical x plus 1 equals 0. So remember, your strategy for solving radical equations should be to get the radical by itself. The radical term, I should say. Get the radical term by itself and make sure it's positive. Make sure it's positive. So right now, the radical term we can see is minus 4 square root of x. It's not by itself and it's not positive. So the easy way to get it by itself and positive is to add 4 square root of x to both sides. Add 4 square root of x to both sides. And on the left-hand side, we're just going to have what? 3x and plus 1. And on the right-hand side, we're going to have 4 radical x. Now, once you have the radical term by itself, the best thing to do is just square both sides. Square both sides. Don't bother dividing both sides by 4 here to get the square root of x by itself. Just square both sides. Square the whole entire radical term. And if you do the right side, you got to square the left side. So on the left side, I got 3x plus 1 quantity squared. That means I'm taking 3x plus 1 times itself. It's 3x plus 1 times 3x plus 1. And we have an equal sign. And on the right side, we got to square 2 things. First, we have to square 4, right? 4 squared is 4 times 4. It's 16. And then I got to square the square root of x. Square root of x squared. Well, the red square cancels the purple square root, and I'll just have a purple x left. So on the right side, I got 16x. Now we're just going to leave that right side alone, and we want to clean up the left side. We got a FOIL. We're going to first terms, 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Let's see, outer terms, 3x times 1 is plus 3x. Inner terms, 1 times 3x is positive 3x. And last terms, 1 times 1 is positive 1. This is all equal to the right side, 16x. All right, 16x. Now on the left side, I want to clean up. I want to clean up by combining my like terms. I'm going to bring down my 9x squared. I'm going to combine my like terms. 3x and 3x gives me 6x. And don't forget, we have a plus 1. And an equal sign, and then 16x. So here we got a quadratic equation. Remember quadratic equations, you generally want 0 on one side. Generally want 0 on one side. And on the other side, you want your square term to be positive. So the square term is already positive on the left side. So we want to keep that square term positive, so we're not going to change the position of that square term, 9x squared. So we're just going to get rid of the 16x from the right side. We're going to subtract 16x from both sides. So everything is now on the left. So we have 9x squared, 6x minus 16x. What's 6x minus 16x? That's minus 10x. And then we have plus 1. Then we have an equal sign, and then on the right side, we're going to have 0, right? 16x minus 16x is going to give us 0. Now, I could factor this, possibly. 9x squared minus 10x plus 1. Right, we have a quadratic trinomial, but this one starts with a 9 here in front. So we're going to make 2 pairs of parentheses. I'm going to put a 9x and a 9x. And then I got to find 2 numbers that are going to multiply to give me 9 times 1, which is 9. So I got to find 2 numbers that multiply to give me 9 times 1, which is 9. And add to give me this middle number here of negative 10. So can you think of 2 numbers that multiply to give you 9 and add to give you negative 10? Well, I can. I can think of negative 9 and negative 1, right? Negative 9 times negative 1 is 9. Negative 9 plus negative 1 is negative 10. All right, now we've started with the factorization, but we're not quite finished. Remember, you have to divide out anything in common within your factor. So look at 9x minus 9. Notice the 9x and the 9 have a 9 in common. We can divide out a 9 out of those. And when we do that, we're going to be left with, let's see, here the 9's cancel. We're going to have x minus 9 over 9 is going to be 1. So we got x minus 1, and then 9x minus 1, we just bring that down because there's nothing we can divide out of 9 and 1. Oh, right, and this is all equal to 0. This is equal to 0 here. So by the zero factor property, because I got something times something equal to 0, that means one of the factors must be 0. So either x minus 1 is 0, or 9x minus 1 is 0. So in the first itty-bitty equation there, basic equation, we're going to add 1 to both sides. We're going to get x equals 1 potentially. We don't know if this checks out, so we're going to wait. And in the next equation, 9x plus 1, we're going to add a 1 to both sides, and we're going to get 9x equals 1, and then we're going to divide both sides by 9. The 9's will cancel, and we'll get x equals 1/9 potentially. The thing is, do these check out? That's the big question. So we're going to have to plug them back into the original equation. A check step. I'll do check in. Let's do it in blue this time. So first I want to check x equals 1. So what was the original equation? The original equation, 3x minus 4 square root of x plus 1 equals 0. So it's going to be, let's see, 3 blank minus 4 square root of blank plus 1 equals 0. That was our template, right? 3x minus 4 square root of x plus 1 equals 0. So we're going to plug in a 1 into the blanks. So here goes a 1 here and a 1 here. All right, so first I'm going to do what? 3 times 1 is 3 minus 4 times square root of 1 is 1 plus 1 equals 0. Does this check out? Well, we're going to have what? 3. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and then plus 1 equals 0. Let's see, what's 3 minus 4? 3 minus 4 is negative 1. We got plus 1 equals 0. Does that check? Yeah, 0 equals 0. It checks. So this is a solution. 1 is a solution to this equation. Let's check the other dude. 1/9. Check. X equals 1/9. So I'm not going to go back and look at the original equation. I have the template here. The template is 3 times blank minus 4 square root of blank plus 1 equals 0. I have the template there from the other checking case where I checked 1. So this time we're going to plug in 1/9. 1 over 9. 1 over 9. So first of all, you have to do 3 over 1. Right, this is 3 over 1 times 1 over 9. So what are we going to do? We're going to do 3 times 1 on top is 3. And then 1 times 9 on bottom is 9. Okay, then we're going to have minus 4. Now the way you take the square root of a fraction, you're going to take the square root of 1 on top, square root of 9 on bottom like that, and then plus 1 equals 0. So you just distribute that radical to the top of 1 there and to the bottom of 9. All right, so this reduces. 3/9 reduces to 1/3. And we have minus 4 times, well, the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 9 on bottom is going to be 3, plus 1 equals 0. So we got what? 1/3 minus 4 times 1 is 4/3 plus 1 equals 0. Now, what happens when you combine these dudes together? 1/3 minus 4/3. So we're going to take a common denominator of 3, and we're going to do 1 minus 4. You got 1 minus 4 over 3 plus 1. Is that equal to 0? Well, let's see. What's 1 minus 4? 1 minus 4. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So you got negative 3 over 3 plus 1 equals 0. Well, what's negative 3 over 3? Negative 3 over 3 is negative 1. So negative 1 plus 1 equals 0. Yeah, right? You get 0 equals 0. That checks out. So this one actually has two solutions as well. So 1/9 is a legitimate solution. So you got two solutions, 1 and 1/9. All right, that's it. That's our two solutions, 1 and 1/9. So this is it for radical equations. Last video. All right, so we'll do, yeah, we got one more section to go, I think, in this unit.